Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the video where I finally reveal my true nature, okay? I hope you liked it, And for all of you that said that I wasn't a real angel, well, here you go. The proof is in the pudding, okay? This is staring at you. Anyways, so I hope you guys are okay. I hope you're enjoying your time today. In today's video, we're going to discuss empaths, okay, and why they're so drained all the time. You know, why, as an empath, you're so drained all the time, okay? So here's the thing, right? Empaths are very different, okay, because from an early age, they are incredibly intense, okay? They have very high energy, right? And so while all the other kids are just sitting around, empaths, are extra sensitive, right? So in certain environments, especially with a lot of people, can overstimulate their system, okay? That's one thing, right? Because they're extremely sensitive to everything. So, a typical child is sensitive, right? But an empath is extra sensitive, right? So everything with them is, I would say, extra, right? So I'm getting I'm getting the first-hand seat or the front row seat to this right now, and this also gives me kind of a different perspective and also a clue as to how I probably was as a child myself, because my kiddo is extremely sensitive. He's fiery, right? So while all the other children are just sitting there playing nicely with their toys, right, and just they're quiet and they're an empath, a sensitive child or a spirited child will be very loud, right? They'll be extra loud, they'll be extra happy. So the emotions are extreme, basically, okay? So that's how an empath is, okay? And of course, as you're getting older, all of this, you can learn how to tame your emotions, right? You're still very much a very emotional person. But this, believe it or not, guys, this emotionality, right? This extra sensitivity in empaths is a big gift, okay? But however, with that said, right, empaths also tend to be like sponges, okay? So not only do they're extremely sensitive to the environment, right? But they're also extremely sensitive to people, okay? And people's energy, okay? So an unconscious empath, right, is what happens to them is that they don't yet know how to distinguish between someone else's energy and emotions, right? Or emotions are energy in motion, right? In Greek, okay? So emotions, they don't know how to distinguish between what is someone else's and what is theirs yet, okay? So unaware, an inexperienced empath is most likely going to be drained by all of this, okay? So they're going to be drained in large crowds, right? They're going to be drained around people, right? And that's because they haven't yet learned how to read energy. They haven't yet learned how to separate that energy, okay? Separate your energy, right? Or their energy and someone else's energy, okay? And so they're going to be in most cases, they're going to take someone else's energy as their own, okay? And they're not going to even clear it, because a lot of inexperienced empaths, they don't know how to clear that energy yet, okay? They don't have the tools, the right tools yet, okay? Guys, because empaths are so sensitive, right? And so overstimulated by the environment, right? And by the energies that are in the environment and around people too, right? That more often than not, what ends up happening is that they will be in a certain environment for some time or around people for some time, right? But before you know it, they will be just completely drained and exhausted, so they will need to kind of like withdraw, so like for example, I used to have like my brother, right? He used to throw parties, right? And he had a lot of acquaintances, friends, right? And so they would throw parties, and sometimes I would come too, right? And then so my brother didn't understand like why I would come to the party. I would just entertain everyone, and everyone there. I would just be really outgoing, right? And just like very talkative and funny, and like we would laugh and have a good time, right? But then before you know it, I would just withdraw into my own little corner, and just sit there by myself, So, and he was like, he would call me like antisocial all the time, right? Like, he's like, I don't get why you do this. Like, this is so strange to me, But this is exactly what was happening. I would come into the environment, right? I would clean up all that bad energy, right? Because empaths are like sponges, okay? So in a way, if they learn how to, like, experienced empaths know how to alchemize this energy, right? They know how to clean up the environment, or even, help. Well, I can't say clean up another person, right? That's a poor way of putting it, but they can come into contact with another person, and they can help that person feel better, right? By certain kind of cleaning up their energy in a sense, right? And then releasing it, right? They know how to, experienced empaths know how to release that energy, right? That negative energy. They know how to clear themselves, right? Through like means like, I don't know, visualization, right? Or like meditation, right? Or just even going out into nature or taking baths and things like that, right? And so experienced empaths are very, very aware of energy, okay? And so they don't get drained as often, okay? Whereas inexperienced empaths, they get drained all the time, okay? And one of the reasons on why they're getting drained is because they don't know how to clear that negative energy yet, okay? And they don't know how to distinguish. They can't even distinguish, when, where, one person's energy begins and ends, and so they take it as if it's their own energy, right? When in fact it's not, right? And so there's that, right? But also there's another thing, right? And that's more often than not, empaths are givers, right? They're givers. They're people with really big hearts, right? And so they're used to giving everything. They're used to giving, and a lot of them are people pleasers, right? And so this people pleasing behavior doesn't serve them, okay? What they end up doing is that they, even if they don't have too much to give, right, at maybe a specific time, they still do so, right? And so they do this at the expense of themselves, their own well-being, their emotional well-being, their mental well-being, right? Their physical well-being, okay? And so they basically kind of like inexperienced empaths haven't yet learned how to have those boundaries, okay? They haven't yet learned how to, stop giving and say no, right? When they cannot give. There's nothing wrong with giving, right? But you have to put your own oxygen mask first. You have to take care of yourself first, right? Before you can take care of someone else. And that's what they haven't learned yet, okay? Guys, when I used to, kind of, at a certain time in my life, right? There were moments in my life where I really just needed to just focus on myself first, okay, before I could help someone else. But empaths have this like really strange and like almost compelling need to give to others, right? And so they have a very hard time saying no, or seeing a situation and not backing off, maybe seeing some kind of injustice. They can't just walk past and not say anything or not doing anything, So that's the issue with inexperienced empaths. Okay, so you know, they basically try to help another person without putting their own oxygen mask first. Okay, and that's the problem, right? And so that's why they get very sick over time. Okay, and very drained. Okay, guys, and so yeah, there's that, right? You also place yourself into situations that are not serving you. Okay, so you either get into relationships with really bad people, right, like narcissists, for example, where is, you know, they're energy vampires, right, basically. So they suck you dry and you don't even realize what's happening. Okay, you're giving them your time, you're giving them your resources, right? Also, inexperienced empaths, they don't know the value that they hold. They don't know the resources that they have. They don't know that, you know, their empathy, their actually very strong sensitivity is actually a huge gift to a lot of people, right? And so they don't realize that. So, you know, inexperienced, unconscious empaths, they'll be giving all this stuff for free. They'll be giving this empathy for free. They'll, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But of course, I think that certain people have to deserve this, you know. It depends on the individual. Certain people, right, there's so much in the dark, right? There's so much in kind of, they're so blind basically, right, that they basically cannot be helped, right? And so inexperienced empaths don't know that. Okay, and so they see a person that's in the dark, someone like a psychopath, a narcissist, sociopath, anyone who has, you know, one of those disorders, right? And they want to help them. They want to pull them out of that darkness, right? Even at the expense of themselves, okay? And before they know it, guys, they're drowning too, okay? And in fact, they're just being drowned by that individual, right? And of course, to walk away from that kind of a relationship, they have to recognize their own worth. They have to start loving themselves so they can get out of that situation, right? So they can save themselves. And so that is their biggest lesson, right? Is self-love. And are you going to let someone just suck you dry and kill you, basically, right? Kill your soul, kill your essence, maybe even physically, you know, have you end your life, right? Or you save yourself. You save yourself. You find enough self-love to say enough is enough, and you walk away, right? And you tell yourself kind of like, okay, I pick myself, okay? And so yeah, experienced empaths, on the other hand, are wise enough now and they know themselves, right? So they've embraced this sensitivity, right? They've embraced this this ability to read energy, right? To read the room and to not engage. Okay, to not engage. If the room, if the restaurant if the store, if a hotel, if any particular place, any environment doesn't match their frequency, right? Then they don't necessarily go in, unless they really have to, okay? Because guys, God sends his angels, he sends empaths, he sends God's warriors into very dark places sometimes, and that's for a reason, okay? Because empaths, earth angels, whatever you want to call them, right? They're very much needed in those situations, those places, okay? And so sometimes it's not a choice. Sometimes we have to go in there, okay? But for the most part, experienced empaths have learned that they have learned to stay away from certain situations, certain people, certain environments, certain countries even, right? Because they can read energy very well, and they don't want to be in that environment because they know it's not going to end well. They know it's not good for their energy. They know it's not good for their well-being. They know it's not the right environment for them. It's not a match, you know. It's not an energetic match, right? And for the most part, you know, empaths, right, they have a very high frequency. Their frequency, their energy, in fact, is higher than average right from the beginning, okay? And that's what also kind of distinguishes them from everyone else. And it's very, very much visible, guys. it's very much felt by other people, okay? And that's why you've probably always felt like an outsider, okay? Always. And people knew that too, okay? And people knew that they can pick up on energy, right? People can read energy very well, unconsciously, of course, okay? And so yeah, you're always different, okay? And everyone kind of knew it, you know. People could sense it, right? And you knew it too. um so so yes, what else did I forget to mention? Of course, you know, an experienced Earth Angel, right? They're going to um, experienced empath. They're going to learn the value of their skills, right? They're going to learn and their abilities, right? And they're going to extend it to those that really need it, or those that deserve it, and that's based on their intuition, right? And so if their intuition says no, you shouldn't be helping this person, no, you know, so they're very much connected to source, right? And they're working, they're in union with source, right? And so they've got that Holy Spirit, right? And they listen to it, okay? And experienced empaths, they only, like I said, they only go into situations because they're called to. They only go into certain environments because they're called to. And guys, believe it or not, um, those people, those situations, those environments, they're very fortunate to have these, you know, earth angels, empaths there. Okay, because like I said, more often than not, first of all, empaths, earth angels are very uncommon, okay? But but you know, in most cases, they're not treated kindly, or even um, sometimes they are, right? But in a lot of situations, they're not welcome. They don't feel welcome in particular environments, in particular groups, right? And so it's like always them against, you know, the entire group, right? And that's because, you know, this world for the most part is in the darkness, right? It's in the darkness. It's people are operating from their egos. People are very much very far away from their own light, okay? And so whenever you have an empath, an earth angel around, they're going to change these situations. They're going to try to steer everyone into the right direction. They're going to steer everyone into the light, okay? And so they bring this light, okay? They kind of bring this light anywhere they go, okay? And so it's a huge blessing for you know, people and environments to have that one particular person there in that location, okay? Because they usually end up cleaning up the environment in terms of spirituality. And of course, at first it's spiritual, right? Then it manifests physically too, okay? So, and the changes will be seen, you know, and they're very much felt too, you know, eventually and over time, okay? Well, actually right from the beginning, you know, too. So, but inexperienced, unconscious empaths are a little bit different, guys. And the reason for that is, of course, it's for your own growth, right? It's for your own, you know, you have to learn, basically, right? That's how you learn. You've learned to, you know, by basically by being placed into bad situations with bad people and into bad environments, you learned, right? That's how you learned your own power, about your own power, right? That's how you learned about yourself and about people and situations, right? And so this was all for your own good. It was all for your highest good. And it was probably extremely painful, right? But at the same time, even as an unconscious empath, I'm sure you guys have helped so many other people, you know, even if it was at the expense of yourself, okay? So anyways, I don't know, guys, I don't think I'm going to... Oh yeah, so just, I guess the final word, right, is that learn to protect your energy, learn to extend your help by listening to your intuition, okay? And don't help just about anyone, okay? Learn to listen to your intuition, learn to work with that Holy Spirit, and you know, if you need to, then first of all, right, is learn how to like take care of yourself first, okay, before you start taking care of and helping other people, okay. learn to extend that compassion and empathy for yourself before you can give it out, right? So in other words, heal yourself, and then you will be able to help many people. Okay. And empaths, earth angels, they're extremely gifted in many ways. Okay. And so these gifts are there for a reason. They're not just for your own good, for your for you to gain, right? Like personal gains, financial gains, right? And to just become this Scrooge, right? Where you just like, keep all of this for yourself. No, God gave you these skills, God gave you these gifts for a reason, and that reason is for you to develop them and to share it with the world and to help other people. Okay, it's all about that, guys. It's not for just for you. Okay, it's meant to be used for the good, right? It's kind of like the Superman with superpowers, right? He doesn't just I don't know, go out and like have fun and just travel the world, right? And just like, while ignoring, bad situations, right? And ignoring the fact that a lot of people need his help, right? He's a Superman. He puts on his cape, right? And he goes out and he saves people, right? He helps them. And so that's exactly what, that's exactly what you're like. Okay. And so when you're an inexperienced empath, and an unconscious one, right? You still helped a lot of people, but you also had an ego, and you still very much tried to serve yourself too. Okay. But you quickly learned that selfishness, having a huge ego, that just makes you miserable. It doesn't make you happy. And so, yeah, I guess that's all. Learn to protect your energy, learn to develop your abilities, learn how to read situations, people, and learn how to work in unison with source and your intuition. And only extend your help when it is necessary, when you're being called to do so. If you're being called to withdraw and to recharge, then do that. Okay, so you have to listen to yourself, you have to listen to your soul, and you have to listen to what it needs. Okay, we cannot help others if we don't help ourselves first. So help yourself and then help others. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm gonna fly away. Okay, bye.